There is a very good chance that you know my guest because he does a lot of investing and a lot of billboards. You may know him because he has been in the whirlwind of media attention because one of his billboards recently said, "I buy crack houses." Now, how is that for a title? How is that to get your attention? Mr. John Williams, how you doing, man?
I'm really well. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing very well. Again, you've been in business a long time, currently have a real estate portfolio over $100 million, buying about 30 houses or so a month. That's light work. Why not 31? Come on, man. Get with it.
No. The
Section
goal is
8.
100 million by the end of 2026 on the board.
100 million
I
by
want to
the
be
end.
very clear. By
Great.
the end of the year of next year, 2026.
Gotcha. Yep, 2026. I got you. Again, we'll get into where you are on that journey. Again, you helped a lot of folks, and you obviously have a very large YouTube channel, which I am a follower of. But I want to get on this billboard because I've interacted with you a lot over the last couple of years, kind of as a casual fan. But when I started seeing your picture pop up with this "I buy crack cars" billboards, and then the media storm that I sensed around it, I could not only imagine what it was for you, kind of the center of this vortex. Some good, probably a lot of it good, but I got to imagine some of the attention was negative. That's just a guess.
Yeah, it was kind of a mix. Like the first 24 hours was predominantly negative. Then 48, 72, 96 hours after, it just got more and more and more positive. People started waking up to the real problem that it's not just in Cleveland, but a lot of cities in America where there's just abandoned, blighted houses that are left untouched that someone needs to do something about. And I think a lot of people need affordable housing, and people are looking for people like us to go out there and fix up some of these homes and put people in them.
Now, I'm just going to guess again. I read a bunch of the media on this. It sounds like a lot of the local politicians took immediate offense because, again, it probably makes them look bad, right? If you're the mayor of so-and-so city and you got somebody saying, "I buy crack houses in so-and-so city," that mayor's probably feeling a little exposed. But if you step back and you drive down these streets, I mean, I invest in Fresno, California, and there are just some areas that, yeah, there are abandoned buildings, and nothing would be better than an investor coming in and turning that around. I've seen areas, turn around with one investor and then a second and then a third. And, we should encourage this. We don't want the city to just, fall apart and wither away. Is that kind of fair? Like the local politicians were very upset, but when people really understood what you were doing, they're like, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so about 3 years ago in Cleveland, there were lenders that came out. They were offering predatory loans against people's properties. And people would take these loans, and later the lender would foreclose. And so they saw that billboard, and they had a suspicion that I was doing something similar, when in reality, I had no clue that any former lenders were doing something like that. We don't issue loans on properties. We acquire them outright. So I think they had a misguided view of who I am and what we do. And coincidentally, my contractor, great guy, he went to a college and was a frat brother with the main politician that was going against me. And they're going to be setting up a meeting sometime later this week or early next where we're going to get together. And my contractor was telling him, like, you have the wrong idea about John. Like, he doesn't flip these homes. He's not issuing loans. He's turning them into Section 8 affordable housing. So I think at the end, it's going to turn into a whirlwind of collaboration and opportunity and great things with people of Cleveland.
No, I think so as well. I mean, looking at what you've built already and where you want to take this, again, you're not doing lots of things that you could be as negative, like the predatory lending. You're also not being some fake, turnkey, somebody's just going to throw some lipstick on it and then throw it out there to some sucker from California, right? You're fixing things up. You're sticking tenants in. You're building your portfolio, if I understand the mission correctly.
Correct. Yeah. Well, we do work with investors, but the difference is the investors aren't buying turnkey. Like, we buy the properties and we'll get them at a price that we think is fair. And the investor will buy them at that same exact price. And we'll fix it up for them. And we have contacts at the housing authority. We'll place the tenant and then we'll offer the property management services.
That's a very different model. Wait, I've known people in other cities around the country that have kind of these crack houses or ugly houses or whatever you want to, abandoned houses. And they would often acquire them for next to nothing. They would put next to nothing in them, but boy, they'd look pretty from the street. And then they'd get somebody from California to come in and pay top dollar for, something that's got lipstick and some, duct tape holding it together. And then they're, left high and dry. So that's not what you're doing.
No, we buy in really nice neighborhoods. Like, they're nice for the price point. Like, they're C neighborhoods. They're not D and F neighborhoods. So our average purchase price is between like 60 and 90 grand. And we'll spend between like 25 and 40 fixing them. And then, we'll rent them out for between 15 and 1900 bucks a month.
So saying it another way, your all-in cost is 80 to 110-ish?
80 on the purchase. And then, we're probably like 120 all in.
Okay. All in.
And then we rent it for like between 15 and 19.
Yeah, so you beat the whole 1% rule.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about Cleveland. I mean, I've been hearing about Cleveland as the place to be probably for 15 or 20 years. How long have you been investing in Cleveland?
6.5 months. So like
6.5 months.
Yeah, we're brand new.
Cool.
We came basically, I was under contract in November. We closed on our first one in December, and I moved out here like end of December. So
you were in Florida before that, right?
Yep, in Delray Beach.
That's why I thought you were in Florida. Okay. All right. Now you're in Ohio.
I'm like, okay, we had some money we wanted to invest. We were looking for a place in which we thought offered the most upside with the least amount of risk, based on a set of trends that I see unfolding in America, which is an affordability crisis where people are going to be looking for affordable housing. And then once we got to like Detroit, Cincinnati, went to Columbus, we went to Des Moines, Iowa, we went to a lot of different places. We got to Cleveland. I'm like, this is beautiful. And I think it's
got a lot of character. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have 2 kids, and they have a better life here than they did in Delray. Like they're doing all these different activities. They can go from like one side of the city to the next in 15 minutes. Like it's just a really, I think, underrated city.
Wow. There you go, folks. Cleveland, underrated city. Put it on the map. Check it out. And again, what are these? Are these houses just the standard old 1950, 1930 builds, or like 2-bedroom, 1-bath? Maybe 2 1.5s, 3 1s, something like that.
And sometimes they're 2 1s. They have a little basement down below. And what's very common in Cleveland, if it's a 3-1, there's 2 beds and a bath downstairs, and upstairs is an attic converted into a bedroom. But per title, it's 3 bedrooms.
Got it. All right.
But
so again,
basically the attic is like the same layout as the main level.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of square foot up there, or square feet up there. And again, so basements aren't really a thing in Florida, right?
So it's pretty rare that we see a basement in Florida.
Yeah. Same in California. Pretty rare. So one thing that you have to look at there is drainage and sump pumps and, the plumbing and things of that nature.
Because a basement will make or break the deal.
Yeah.
Like you walk in there, you have significant water intrusion. You could walk into a situation where it's half the value of the house, and it's just not worth the headache and stress. So we'll just move on.
Yeah. So give me a feel. So how many of these billboards did you put up? Obviously I saw a couple, but it's always unclear. Was it one billboard with lots of different photos, or did you have them up all over town, or what's going
50.
on with these billboards? 50.
Yeah, we have 50 billboards. So when we first started, we started with 15, then we went to 30, and then we went to 50. And so I had a goal. There was one main attorney here that basically everyone knew. And I'm like, okay, well, by Q1 of 2025, my goal is to be bigger than this person. And I want to do it. Like, so I have this belief that being top of mind in the future, I think we're going to see a situation where a lot of people are going to get priced out of their homes, and people aren't going to be able to afford insurance, taxes, the cost of living is going to get more expensive, car insurance. People are going to continuously downsize. There's a lot of people that are on fixed incomes in these bigger homes that they don't need. Yeah. A lot of people are just looking for ways to save money. And so if you can stay top of mind, and everyone basically can't get away from you. Whatever they drive in the main streets, they see you. When they drive in the residential streets, they see the sign out front of the house. If they have to sell their home, they're going to think, who can I call to get cash now? And I'll be the only one that'll be thinking. So
yeah, and the billboards are very visual, right? Yellows and reds, and it's very visual, and it shows your face. At least most of the time, all the ones I've seen shows your face. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and so I'll get recognized off the billboards. Like I went to the car dealership to get an oil change. I got recognized 3 different times in that process of getting the oil change.
That's amazing.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, it works.
That works, yeah. So I have no idea what a billboard costs. What would, I mean, do billboards, is it like rent? You rent a month to month, or do you do a year lease? I have no idea how you get a billboard.
It's 28 calendar day.
So I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that one more time?
It's a 28 calendar day.
Okay. All right. So 28 calendar month.
Yeah, exactly.
Month. Okay. And then it just can you sign up for a year, or do you have
No,
to just
you
do
lock it in
monthly?
for 30, basically 28 days. You lock it in for the
20
month.
days. Okay. And then is it I've seen people put up billboards. I never seen them take down, but I guess it's the same process. You know, you pay somebody to kind of put it up there and then take it down if it's time, or is that in the
So
cost?
that's what they handle. So like
Okay.
they'll charge you for the artwork to create the artwork, and they charge you for the install, and then it stays up. So
Okay.
depending on the size of the billboards, there's bulletins, there's posters, there's traditional highway billboards. They all vary in cost in art production. So yeah.
Very, very cool. So I'm curious, you're running a growing operation in Cleveland, getting your feet wet. What does the team look like? Is it just you? You got a couple of acquisition people, disposition? I mean, what's the team look like you're running with?
So I have Casey, Marge, Judd, and Julian. They'll assist with calls that come in from the billboards. Then I have three main GCs, and then they have maybe between 10 and 12 people each. So like roughly 40 people on the
Hmm.
ground, and they're everyone from roofers, window installers, tile, laying floors, basically everything. And then I have this guy Teddy, who does a lot of the junk removal and hauling. Like when we buy properties and they leave all their stuff inside, he'll go in, he'll do his thing. And then I have two real estate agents that post notices, and they'll assist with getting us into properties. So I would say all in all, like a little under 50 people, or about 50.
Wow. And you built that up. So, I mean, how many of these people came with you from Florida, or are these all net new
Zero.
relationships?
Zero.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I've been fortunate. Like when I first came out here, I met this guy. He was out front of the house, and really, really nice guy. And he was working on the stucco. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. We shook hands, and just had a good feeling about this guy. So then we bought a house like a week and a half later. Um, at $9,000. And
Hmm.
I'm like, how the hell is he doing this for $9,000?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just going to give him a shot. Worst case scenario, is in a horrible situation. Let's give it a
Right.
shot. I
Yeah.
go in, he's jamming out the church music, and he has his other people in from the church that are working there. Like they work with him.
Yeah.
And they weren't out there smoking, drinking, nothing like that. They're just nice people.
Yeah.
And, if you take care of people, you pay people well, you treat them right, good people know good people. And it just
Yeah.
kind of
That's
grew like
true.
that naturally.
That's very, very cool. So I'm curious, where does the portfolio sit today on your mission to get to 100 million by the end of 2026? You're already rocking and rolling 6 months in. Where are we at right now, you think?
Yeah, so a lot of politicians from that last campaign, we had a senator reaching out. We just had someone wanting me to come speak and answer questions about property management, about the house we're buying. And there's a lot of people that are basically have their eye on me. And so like I
Mm.
want to be careful with certain things
Fair
until
enough. Fair enough.
yeah,
Yeah, I
until I
got you.
speak to them. But like to put it into context, we have 5 transactions that went under contract today.
So let's talk about those 5. How all 5 off the billboard, or word of mouth, or what?
Wholesalers. One was a wholesaler. They sent me 3
Okay,
properties. One was from this real estate agent. Her name's Britt. She's on the team. Really,
nice.
really nice lady. And she showed me this house. It was listed for 85. It was a 2-bedroom. We offered 70. It sat on the market. Nothing happened. They came back to us, and they're like, okay, we'll do 70. So we're moving forward on that. And then the other one was this. It was a 3-bed, 1-bath, 90,000.
Yeah.
So they all kind of like fell together.
I like it. Again, I want to talk about that example 85, because that's what I'm telling my audience today. Right now, we're in a market with rising inventory. Sellers have wish pricing. They have 2022 pricing, but sometimes it comes to they have to sell, and you're the only offer. So again, think about this: the property listed at 85. They said no thanks. You stayed firm at 70. They came back to you. That's over a 20. That's about a 20% drop.
Yeah.
Again, at that price point, that's a disrespectful offer. Now, again, you did it because it made sense, and the repair costs and all of that. But there's so many people out there saying that that's impossible. You can't buy an 85K house for 70. Yeah, you can, all the time. You just got to be patient and take lots of shots.
Yes, I think that's the difference with a lot of people that don't make it in real estate, make good deals, and the ones that do. The ones that make good deals, they are out there trying literally every single hour of the working day.
Exactly.
And then those that they're like, oh, I can't find anything. They'll take 2 or 3 offers a week, and they'll give up. They're like, oh, the market's this, the market's
Yeah,
that.
I hate
We're out
that.
here
That little
smashing.
quitters. Yeah, there you
Like
go.
our acquisition team, we have this lady, Julian, really nice lady. All she does is call real estate agents, have conversations with them, and see where we can find a deal. That's her entire purpose. So like from 9 to 5, all she's doing is smashing the phones. So
there
like,
you go.
if you have somebody and you're like, oh yeah, I want to get good deals, you could go on one of these websites and you could hire an acquisition specialist for like next to nothing and be like, hey, this is my buy box. This is what I'm looking to do. Here's what I'm looking to buy. Transaction. And it just depends on your appetite and how much you're able to invest. But if you're out there and you got some money, I would build a little team and I'd get to work on it.
Yeah, again, there's just again, I just want everybody to realize, even if you're just like Mike Zuber back in 2003, you got a full-time job, family, all of that. I looked at my buy box 20 minutes a day, twice a day, morning and night, and had relationships with agents where I was writing 5, 6, 7 offers a week every week. And oh, by the way, I was following up on offers I made from a month ago. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take that much time if you systematize this. But if you want to whine and bitch like a little girl who writes 3 offers and gets nothing and nowhere, I can't help you. I just can't help it if you give up like that. It drives me crazy.
So I have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I'm doing the numbers on like what we need to be worth for them to never work. Like, let's say, for example, 20 years from now, who knows if college is a thing? Who knows what the cost of living will be? But let's say inflation continues at the same rate. I'm not saying it will, not saying it won't. But let's just say that is the number. You start doing the numbers, you realize the number
it's a big ass number.
It's a big ass number. And so I was telling my like, where can we go to hit this big number? And what do we need to really make? Yeah. And if the answer isn't really what you make, it's what you earn through these properties. And so we started looking at it. We're like, the only place that we think we can achieve this are a handful of affordable markets. And we look at the trends. We're like, okay, well, if we go to a place like this, should have did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I'm curious. Obviously, lots of people try to make out-of-state investing work. That obviously seems like it wasn't the case for you. You got up and moved and really got committed to the area. I'm going to guess that's a requirement if you want to scale quickly. You got to be in the market, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think a man of many things is a master of nothing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do something, do it properly. If people are trying to do out-of-state investing, like if someone's going to come and be like, oh, I want to be an out-of-state investor and compete with me, there's just no way.
Yeah, it's a good luck. Yeah.
The amount of work that we're putting in to these deals, it's like we're going to win every single day. Someone that's doing out-of-state, they're going to be on some Facebook group like, oh, this guy sent me this property. Like,
yeah, daisy-chained opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought this house that just finished renovations. Well, the interior did. We have to paint the exterior, and we have actually an Amish crew that they're fixing the garage today. But we bought this place, 3-bedroom house, 60 grand. The neighbor sold it for $255 to an out-of-state investor, and the house is like, it's a dog house. Like, it looks horrible, but people look at it and like, oh, well, where I live, the houses are $500K. $255 is a good deal.
Those California investors, I know many of them that got I know many people over the years that have gone to Cleveland or Detroit or Madison, and it did not turn out well because they didn't do their homework. They saw the pretty pictures, and like you said, they're like, this is what it would cost in my area. So that's this is the one I haven't said in a while. You know how many investors told me the house costs less than my Tesla? Yeah. I'm like, why does that matter? I mean, how does that make it a good deal? Because it costs less than your Tesla. What are you trying to tell me? I mean, that means nothing. It's crazy thought process.
It's a horrible way to look at an investment.
It's just dumb.
Like, you could say that about anything.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so yeah, I mean, if someone is thinking about being an out-of-state investor, either there's only one of two things. Either you have someone that you trust, but finding someone that you trust is going to be very, very challenging, especially if you have one property or 2 properties and you're like, oh, I'm offering 10% property management. So you're going to offer $150 a property, $300. No one's turning the world upside down for you for $300 a month. Mm-hmm. So it's either you have someone that you really, really trust or you do it yourself. Yeah, for me, being here on the ground, meeting people, seeing the contractors, shaking the hands of the tenant, building out the relationships with the housing authority, making sure it all runs properly is the only way that I think is viable for myself and family.
Love that. Love that. Well, let's go back to the billboard that says, I buy crack houses. Was the media attention in Firestorm so bad that you actually took that one down, or is it up and you're adding others?
No, I didn't take it down. I would have loved to keep that up. The politicians took it down. The state senator called the advertising company, and they had it pulled.
Get that off.
Yeah, but it was an incredible campaign. I was on Cleveland 19. They called me in for an interview, and they're like, do you apologize? They tried to like get me to apologize. I'm like, do you know the purpose of advertising? The purpose of advertising is to spend money so that people know who you are, what you do, and how to get a hold of you. If you were to drive down a highway and see 50 billboards, you would ignore 49 of them, but the 50th, you would know who it is. And that's me. So the answer is no, I don't regret the campaign. And the other thing is you have 9,200 homes in Cuyahoga County. 3,000 of them are vacant. So you have 25% of all homes that are basically dilapidated and abandoned.
Hey, Mr. Senator or Mrs. Senator, what are you doing? That's what you should be worried about, not some billboard sign.
Yeah, and you have 15,000 people in the housing voucher wait list waiting for shelter.
Wait, so you got 3,000 vacant units. You've got 15,000 people on a wait list. That sounds like there'd be a good marriage there between, supply and demand. Get those cleaned up, guys.
Right. So I don't think the problem is people going out there trying to fix them. I think the problem is people don't want the negative attention on the truth.
Yeah, that is very much. Certainly the mayors and the senators of the area don't want the negative attention, and having somebody profit off the idea of saying I buy crack houses is probably not something they want in their city. Obviously, they called the can you imagine being the advertiser and getting that phone call? I got the senator of Ohio on the phone. Yes, sir. I'll take that off right away. Click.
So I talked to my lady, and she was like, yeah, we actually had a meeting about this, and she was pretty shocked about the public outcry over it. They had 1,000 phone calls. The advertising company, 1,000 phone calls. And I was like, that's pretty incredible.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. But you just look at, said that's probably a good thing for your business because.
Yeah, I was going to say more people know how to find you.
Yeah, I'm like, more people know of your business, and now people think, hey, billboards work. When before, I think people looked at billboards as like a stale way of advertising, whereas social media is kind of taken over. I think billboards are the complete opposite. You just have to do it.
Oh, I think I lost you.
Nope, you're
there you go. Yeah, so it's funny you bring up billboards because I was talking to Ken McElroy the other day, and he said one of the things that he uncovered is, billboards is where he's actually selling properties, buying billboards because he can write them off with bonus depreciation.
Interesting.
Right? He's actually buying the billboards versus renting them, so it's an interesting business to think about.
Yeah, it's a really smart model, and I've heard a lot of people buying apartment buildings close to freeways, getting the contracts placed in those billboards, adding to the net operating income and just increasing the value through forced depreciation, adding that as like a key element to it.
Yeah, very cool. Well, let's close on this topic, one that I always try to close on, being positive. Do you think real estate investing is still worth the hustle and the grind, or should just everybody give up and accept being a renter for life?
I think real estate is an extremely depending on the market in which you're in, I think it's an extremely undervalued opportunity. And no, that probably going against the trend because a lot of people are like, oh, real estate's overpriced and this and that. But if you look at what real estate is, it's the land and the cost of construction and the value in which it creates. If inflation gets worse, the cost to build homes will get more and more and more expensive. And as that begins to happen and inflation's eroding at that purchasing power, what are big investment firms, what are wealthy institutional investors and everyday rich Americans going to do? They're going to park the depreciating currency into something hard and real. As we start to see more and more consolidation of real estate, prices will continue to go up. Think about Facebook and Google when you're advertising online. Doing so in 2012 to 15 was basically free. Now it's expensive to advertise your business online. Why? Because of consolidation of power. The same thing will happen in real estate. So I think real estate is an incredible way to build wealth and store wealth and grow wealth if you know how to do it. And I think right now is a great time to go out there and do it while most people are too afraid and too scared to do so.
Absolutely. Buyers markets are amazing. They don't come around often. I love the fact that everybody's scared. I love more inventory. I love more motivated sellers. This is the time I write disrespectful offers. I follow up for weeks and weeks until they either sell it or sell it to me. And just an attitude. It's just part of the process. It's a numbers game. So I love that. John, where can people find you and where can they find all this great stuff you're doing? Nope. John, where can people find you?
At This Is John Williams on Instagram and YouTube.
There you go, buddy. Thank you very much.
You got it. Bye, Michael.